Welcome to the Opto Podcast, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Off the Dome podcast. Exciting news, a lot of stuff going on, big games coming up here this weekend. We just had our Thursday night matchup, Saints-Cardinals. Ended up being a little bit of a shootout, but that was kind of trumped during that with the big Christian McCaffrey news. He's traded. It seems now like the Panthers are kind of gutting their team, right? They fired the coach. Their best player is just been traded. I would expect, Robbie Anderson obviously traded. I would expect DJ Moore in the coming, week or two. I would expect him to be next. I imagine they're going to gut everything, get as much draft capital, draft picks as they can get, and they're going to they're going to be in a massive rebuild. That question's then, what are they doing with Baker moving forward? Are they going to keep him? Are they going to draft a guy? They're probably going to have one of the top 5 picks. So I'd imagine they have a real shot at one of these quarterbacks if that's their plan. Hey, who knows? It's a good day for me, not going to lie, as a Falcons fan. The Saints lose. They're kind of plummeting. We're kind of being revealed what they are with Andy Dalton. And then Carolina, obviously, our only real threat in the division is Tampa Bay.
So our only real threat in the division is going to be Tampa. So if that's what we're going to be worried about is Tampa Bay, then, they're not even looking like themselves. And we had a real good shot of beating them. So sitting pretty for our division, but that what that does now on the flip side, we talked about how Carolina, where they're kind of going. Now look at the 49ers. I know we just played them. We just beat them 28-14. Excellent game. But now you have a whole new dynamic with this offense. This is going to be one of the most overpowered offenses now. Even with Jimmy G at quarterback. Jimmy G is a very capable quarterback, can get the job done. May not always wow you. He's not a Mahomes. He's not one of these new guys on the block. You know what I mean? But can win you games. Obviously, took the team to the Super Bowl, and he's kind of got the same thing as when they went to the Super Bowl, right? You got weapons. Your weapons are better now. You got Debo, who now will no longer need to be the running back. They can do whatever they want on offense. It's kind of scary. Kyle Shanahan at the helm, what he can do. You've seen what he did with Atlanta and Matt Ryan's MVP season when we went to the Super Bowl. So you factor in now McCaffrey, who can play receiver, running back, does it all. Not going to need to. Debo, he was already their McCaffrey. Debo was essentially the 49ers McCaffrey. Did it all. You got Juszczyk, who's kind of a Swiss Army knife as well, at fullback. Put him in a running back. He can catch the ball. Great blocking. Kittle, great catching. After the catch, he's amazing. Outstanding blocking. Definitely the best blocking tight end in the league. So, I mean, you factor in all their guys can do multiple things. That's not even mentioning Brandon Ayuk, who's kind of coming along now as this season's taken off. He's kind of finding his role. I think McCaffrey's just plug and play. You plug him in at that running back position. You now have one of the best offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan, who's going to find great ways to get him the ball, as well as Debo, and it's going to take the load off their shoulders, both of them. McCaffrey doesn't need to be Superman like he was in Carolina. Debo doesn't need to be Superman now here anymore in San Francisco because he's got Ayuk helping him and Kittle and McCaffrey, who will do the same things that he will do. So an outstanding move by the 49ers. They've kind of just asserted themselves now in the NFC, possibly as the favorites in the NFC. I know we got the Giants and the Vikings, but sitting at 5-1, and the undefeated Eagles. But now they've kind of put themselves in that tier where we have yet to see how it looks. Granted, we'll find out against Kansas City. Huge game against Kansas City. But they got the pieces, man. That defense, they get that defense back healthy. get it going a little bit for 49ers. They're gonna be looking good. They could be a scary team now moving forward. We're still still pretty early in the season. Haven't even hit halfway yet, so there's time for this team to just really take off. With that said, we'll get into the games and do the picks. Did not put out my picks for the Thursday night game. I did take Arizona on that one. I had Arizona, which that was kind of an interesting game. Really, the Cardinals' defense stole the show with the 2 pick sixes. Kind of got close at the end, but I don't know. I think we've seen what Andy Dalton is. I've kind of been saying this the last few weeks. We know what we're getting with him. It's no surprises here. It just kind of is what it is. He may throw for a lot of yards, but he's not gonna. He's just not gonna win you these games. He's not that guy. And the Saints, I know, had a lot of high hopes coming into the season. But Winston hasn't panned out. Andy Dalton's not your guy. Injuries on the receiving core and running backs. They've gotten, for the most part, they're fairly healthy. They have Olave. They have Kamara. They just didn't have Michael Thomas, I don't believe. But because let's see. Let's take a look at these. I want to see the score. I don't think Michael Thomas is playing. Well, it's good to see Kevin White had a big play. This guy drafted by the Bears. He's now 30. He's been in the league since 2015, but has just been injured so much. He had a big 64-yard reception, so good to see that for him. But these picks, I will give credit. The one pick was tipped from Dalton that they had. That was a pick 6. But, and Arizona didn't even play lights out. This was D-Hop's first game back. He comes back with 10 catches, a $103. Not bad. But, nothing outstanding. Murray only had 1 touchdown. They had 2 rushing touchdowns. It was the defense that really won them this game. So, I kind of want to see... Yeah, a 5-yard run. So they had, and then the field goals. Okay. Credit to the defense. That was a lot of the defense for the Cardinals, and they have not looked that way. They still gave up a lot of yards, a lot of points. That's what concerns me with the Cardinals is I don't know how they're going to compete with these teams with that kind of defense. And their offense is so inconsistent. What they get out of the running game is too inconsistent. This Cardinals team is just so wildly inconsistent, even with D-Hop. I just don't expect that defense to do that anymore. They're not going to have every week they're going to be like that. And truthfully, you take away those 2 touchdowns, they lose the game. So, take it for what it's worth. But, they jumped to that early lead, that second quarter. 25 points in the second quarter is huge. But I don't know. This is a good win for the Cardinals, but I'm happy they won to beat the Saints. But this to me does not. This isn't like some stepping stone game where the Cardinals start putting it together. To me, in my eyes, this was a game they won against a bad team. The opposing quarterback throws 3 picks and you still barely win. And you had 2 pick sixes. So I don't know. The Cardinals get the win. I picked them, but I just don't know something's not clicking with this Cardinals team yet. I thought this team was going to be ready to go now for playoffs, and they don't look good. To be honest with you, they do not look good at all. Then let's get into the picks then. So, starting with my Dirty Birds taking on the Bengals. I think this is an interesting matchup. We are not favored at all, not even close. But I do want to say that the Bengals have not looked, they have not looked good yet. You know what I mean? They have not looked themselves. Atlanta did lose Casey Hayward, which was huge. And Alford is out. So we're going to be thin at corner, which will be interesting. Still no Cordell Patterson, obviously, which will be different. On paper, this is a pretty even matchup. I don't know how they're getting there on ESPN, how they're saying basically the Bengals are 76% favorites. I don't know about that because the Bengals have not looked themselves. Just the way Atlanta's been playing, I'm going to pick Atlanta in this one. I like the way they've been playing. Last week was a really good game for them. They've been great outside of the division. They're 2-1 out of the division, 1-2 in the division. So coming into this one, I mean, Cincinnati just to me they're not looking like that Super Bowl team. So something ain't right with them. They've lost some questionable games so far this season. They're 3-3. I thought they'd be a lot better. I thought they'd be 5-1 for sure at this point. But yeah, I'm gonna take Atlanta. They've been surprising the hell out of a lot of people. I don't know if it's any more of a surprise anymore. I mean, we're just playing good football. How long is it a surprise if we're winning? It's a surprise if Detroit, they're 1-4. That's a surprise if they were 3-3. It's no longer a surprise when you're consistently in these games. We're in every game, and the losses could have been wins. So don't sleep on the Dirty Birds. I'm going to take Atlanta in this one. Lions, Cowboys. Interesting matchup. This is a fun matchup. I like this one on Thanksgiving. To me, this is the most Thanksgiving game you can get. The Cowboys and the Lions. The Lions wear them old school uniforms, with the gray and blue. And not doing it this year. Now we kind of get some weird games. I always liked it when they did the Bengals. When they did the Cowboys, the Lions, and then who's the other Thanksgiving team that, Cowboys and Lions are always a Thanksgiving team, and then who else is, they would do the night game. I loved how they were doing like the Ravens and Steelers, really good division matchups. They did Atlanta, New Orleans one year. But this is what this game makes me think of. I think of this game, I think of Thanksgiving. A month too soon, but, the Lions have been playing, they've been up and down. They've had games where they've looked really good, even though they lost. They've had games where they have just looked like, damn, I pick them, and then they're like, whoa, that's not the team you were. So this will be an interesting one. Also, I believe Dak will be back. This is Dak's first game back, so there's going to be a lot of eyes on this game just for that reason. Dak coming back. How's Dak going to be? If he doesn't look amazing, then we want Cooper Rush back. You know how that's going to go. We're going to play this game. Feeding in that QB controversy Jerry wanted. But on paper, this is a no-brainer. I'm taking the Cowboys. Even with, getting Dak back, they're probably going to look better. For those of you that think they're going to be worse with Dak, shut up. Cooper Rush is not. You didn't know who Cooper Rush was until he was playing games, and he's got a great defense that helped him out. Great, supporting cast. He came in and did his fucking job. That's what he did. He came in, did his job. Now it's time for him to clock out. Dak clocks back in, and see where they go. I think this is a good tune-up game. This is why this was smart. For those that wanted Dak back against the Eagles, you're outside your fucking heads. Why would you bring him back against the Eagles? They're undefeated. I know it's a division matchup. It's a pivotal game. Yada, yada, yada. Fuck that. Don't bring him back. Bring him now back in a tune-up game where he plays against the Lions. Not saying the Lions are just going to roll over, but it's night and day difference between the 1-4 Lions and the 6-0 Eagles. So smart move not starting him against the Eagles, throwing him in the Lions' den, because then it just would have stirred shit up if he didn't play good against a really good team. It would have stirred shit up anyways, because that wouldn't have been factored in. They'd been like, oh, Dak fucking sucks, bring in Cooper Rush. Yeah, dude, they're playing the fucking Eagles. Shut up. So this is a good game to bring him back against Detroit. Let him come in, get comfortable, throw some little check downs early, get the motherfucker rolling, get the run game going, and let the defense play its thing. Do its thing and take care of business. So I got the Cowboys in this one. I don't expect it to be too close. Colts Titans. This one's interesting. They have played already. Tennessee won. Tennessee did win the first matchup. This one's interesting to me just because a couple of pretty inconsistent teams, but as of late, the Colts have kind of gotten it back on track. A little rocky at first, the way they started. Hell of a win last week. A comeback win. Matt Ryan called game, threw it up to Alec Pierce 1-on-1 and got the touchdown. Gave him the win against Jacksonville. This is a huge game because if they lose, they will get swept by the Titans, and they're not going to have a shot. For the division again. If they, it comes down to the wire. Tennessee's going to hold the tiebreaker. So, this one's going to be definitely going to be interesting. I think Jonathan Taylor's back and ready to go. A couple guys on each side. Everyone comes in a little banged up. No Shaquille Leonard. On the defense, that's huge. He's the big guy. Kwity Paye out as well for the Colts. But I think this will be a really close matchup, back and forth all day. I'm going to give it to the Colts. I think they're starting to kind of get themselves on track here. Tennessee is still, I don't know what I'm getting with Tennessee. It's just, they're so unpredictable. They don't score a lot of points, right? They're scoring 19 points a game, but neither are the Colts. They're scoring 17. Both these teams give up more points than they score. So it's going to be a sloppy game, fairly close, low scoring. I'm going to give it to the Colts, though, just because of how they've been rolling. The momentum's kind of carrying that way. I'm going to ride the momentum with Indianapolis this week. Then we got this would normally be a pretty simple game. I just cut and dry. I'd give you my pick pretty easily. With the Packers and the Commanders, I have no idea how the ESPN can even be bold enough to say they have a 70% chance to win this game. They're outside their fucking minds. Where's the proof that I can trust anything the Packers are doing this year? None. Sammy Watkins is on IR. Randall Cobb's out. Christian Watson's out. Wow. Wow. I did not know that. Let's see. Hold on, because now I need to know. So they're going to come in with, oh my goodness. They have no receiving core. Green Bay has no receiving core. They have Romeo Dubes, Alan Lazard, and Amari Rodgers. A receiving core. I'm not taking Green Bay this week. No chance in hell. There's no chance. If you're actually looking at this game with clear eyes, there is nobody that Rodgers can throw the ball to. Cobb, out. Sammy Watkins, out. Christian Watson, out. He has no receiving core. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm going to take the fucking Commanders. I have, there's no faith left in Green Bay. I have none. I don't know. Week to week, I don't know what they're doing. They have not found their identity. The offense stinks. Defense keeps them in games, but offense just stinks. They lose to the Jets 27-10, lose to the Giants 27-22. Their defense is giving up 27 at the most, and they're still losing. Commanders coming off the sloppy, gross game against Chicago, then getting, before that decimated by a lot of teams. Just for the simple fact there's no receiver cores, I don't know who Rodgers is throwing. They're gonna be off. This is gonna be a sloppy, low scoring game. I'm taking the Commanders. Fuck it. I'm taking the Commanders. I know this is probably stupid, but just because Rodgers has no weapons, and it's not like anything's clear cut and dry in the NFL anymore with who's gonna win. I'm gonna go out and say Commanders. I'm taking Commanders on this one. Call me crazy. I'm going to take them just because of, just because I don't know who Rodgers is throwing the fucking ball to. That's literally the only reason. They've been inconsistent and all that. I think they would turn it around against Washington, but, man, you're not fucking throwing at nobody but Alan Lazard. He's not Devontae Adams, dog. He's not. So, Green Bay's hurt. They didn't even sign nobody. Odell. Go get Odell. Next one, we got a good division matchup. Oh, good. Not good, but a division matchup. Bucks and Panthers. We kind of talked about Carolina. Them gutting the whole team and all of that. It's gonna be an uphill battle. A lot of questionable injuries as well. This one it shouldn't even be close. It's going to be probably a blowout. Tampa Bay's going to blow this one out. I'm not even going to go much over this. We kind of already talked about Carolina. Tampa Bay, there's not much to talk about just because, they're going to go in and decimate it. But they will take care of the business. Tampa Bay will find a way to win. Even if it's close for whatever reason, they're still going to win that game. Carolina's just hurting right now. They're gutting the team. They're getting ready to rebuild. Giants, Jags, couple interesting teams here. Jacksonville, 2-4 started off. They're interesting, man. They're in a lot of these games. They are underdogs. Jacksonville has a 72% chance to win this game. Wow. I mean, I get there at home. I'm taking the Giants. The Giants are 5-1. They're rolling. Offense is looking good. Defense is playing pretty good. I'm gonna take the Giants. I love what the Jags have been doing so far, but with the Giants at 5-1, Jags 2-4. I'm gonna take the Giants just because they've been rolling. They've been playing good. A little disrespectful that the Jags are that heavily favored, but with Saquon going, they get him going. Daniel Jones has been playing decent. Not turning the ball over too bad and just handling his business. I know it's 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. It's like, what's that? But the motherfuckers are 5-1 for a reason, dog. Love how the defense has been playing. I think they can smother Jacksonville, keep this a low-scoring grinder game, and pull away. I'm gonna take the Giants in this one. Browns, Ravens. 2 teams not playing up to snuff. The Browns a little more expected than the Ravens just because of what they're dealing with. Their quarterback out, and Brissett just has not been the guy. He's just not the guy. He can manage a game, but it's not going to go out and win you a game. But if you look at the Ravens, they've been questionable calls they made. What they've been doing has been questionable. On some 4th downs, going for it when they could have took points. Yeah, they just done a lot of crazy stuff. Lamar's missing some throws. Guys dropping passes. It just has not been the start they wanted this year. Just things have not gone their way. I look for Baltimore to get back on track here. A division game against the Browns. They've been reeling. They're struggling. I think Lamar can take this game over and perform, get the job done. I think they'll handle their business against Cleveland. A good bounce back division win for the Ravens. Then to start off our Mr. 305 games, we got the Jets and the Broncos. This one's going to be interesting. Really, I can see this going either way. And so does ESPN. It's right down the middle. The Broncos, on one hand, you have the Broncos who just have not been playing very well. Offense has been shaky. They're average. They're putting up 15 points and giving up 16. They just have not looked good. Defense has been amazing. That could be a factor. I think the defense could really play a part in this one. I'm gonna go out here and I know how the Jets have looked with Zach Wilson. They've been pretty solid with Wilson since Wilson's been back. Beating Miami and beating Green Bay. But and Breece Hall's look good. Their other weapons have looked good. All the young guys have played great. The defense looked great last week as well. I didn't even factor that how well the defense looked against Green Bay. Can they bring that into this week and get after Wilson? It's tough, dude. I have not put thought in this. This is straight up off the dome. So this is why it's a little harder. This one's hard. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I like the Jets in this one. If their defense looks like they did last week, they smother Russ, they can win this game. That's gonna be the factor. The factor for me is how well the Jets defense plays. If the Jets defense allows Russell to cook a little bit, I don't know if they'll keep up, but they did put up 40 against the Dolphins. I don't know. That's why it's so hard. This is why this week's so hard on this picks. Denver's been in back-to-back overtime losses for Denver. Sheesh. I'm going to take Denver. I changed my mind. I'm going to take Denver. I think they keep Russ up a little bit. I think Russ gets going. I'm going to take... There's no way they're going to lose 2 overtime losses back to back. No, last call. I'm taking the Jets. All right, I'm taking the Jets. 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 We're taking the Jets. Fuck it. I think they get to Russ. The more I think about it, I'm like, no, they're not protecting his ass. They're going to get to Russ. They're going to have a good day on defense, and that's what's going to win in the game. All right, Texans, Raiders. 2 teams not playing. We kind of expected this from the Texans. Las Vegas is kind of interesting. The Raiders have not clicked yet. They've had injuries. Waller's been out. I think he's out this week again. Hunter Renfrow has had concussion injuries. He's missed time. He's also questionable this week. The Texans play great defense. I just don't think they have the quarterback or the pieces. I love Damian Pierce at running back. I think he's their key piece moving forward. They get some weapons and a quarterback. I think they're going to draft a quarterback this year. I'm going to give this to the Raiders. I just think these are 2 teams in different parts, different aspects of the league right now. Texans are clearly trying to rebuild, get some pieces. The Raiders, on the other hand, they've been in close games. They've lost 24-19 to the Chargers, 29-23 overtime to the Cardinals, 24-22 to the Tennessee Titans. They beat the Broncos 32-23, and then lost to Kansas City by a point last week. They have been in every single one of these fucking games. I don't even know if this will be close. I think the Raiders will put it on. They'll win by at least 10 probably. Because it's 2 different teams. You got one team averaging 17 points, one team averaging 25, one team gives up 19, one gives up 26. So, I like Raiders. It's a mismatch. I'm going to take the Raiders in that one. Then our 3:25 game kicks off with the Chargers and Seahawks. And before the season started, would not have thought about this as being a really good matchup. This is actually going to be a really fun matchup. The way Gino's been playing, no one would have expected it. He's playing great. They're sitting at 3-3. I don't think many teams had them even at 3-3. They thought maybe one win team here so far. But I do like the Chargers. I think this will be a back and forth game, probably a high scoring. I'm probably 30s. This game will probably be in the 30s somewhere, if I had to guess. But the Chargers they're getting back on track now, getting back to winning ways after their little start to their season, losing to Jacksonville and Kansas City. But I think they're back on the right track now. So this will be a fun matchup. Don't get me wrong, but I think the Chargers will edge out. That defense getting back together here, looking good for the Chargers. Then our other 3:25 game, another good one, Chiefs 49ers. So Chiefs 49ers. Boy, this is gonna be a good one. You got the new look 49ers with McCaffrey. Will he be ready to play? Is the question. I don't know how many snaps he gets, even if he does play. I don't even know if he would be able to play. But this will be a really good one. I like both teams in this. I like San Fran's defense. No Armstead, no Verrett. Hufanga is a big one. They like to have Hufanga back there. Dude's like the new Troy Polamalu. Dude flies over the field. Love him. But something just says in this one, the Chiefs kind of they pull away in this one. This feels like an upset though too. This seems like this could be an upset in the making. This could go back either way. Super Bowl 54 rematch. I love what Kansas City's doing on offense. They're kind of rolling now on offense, getting it going. They're coming off a loss to Buffalo too, so 49ers have looked good. They're coming off, but that defense that defense is going to be huge. You know, you seen what a really good defense did to him last week against Kansas City last week. They went against probably the best defense in the league right now in the Buffalo Bills, 24-10. They had been averaging 29 points, held them to 20. You now got a 49ers defense holding the teams to 14. Atlanta, that we scored the most points they've allowed all season. You know, they've given up 15, 9, 11, and 7. I'm taking the 49ers in this one. Their defense, amazing. You add in McCaffrey, Debo. They're at home. I don't know, man. This one smells like a 49ers upset. I'm taking the 49ers just because of how their defense is playing and now what they got on offense. And the proof is in the pudding. Take a look at last week. Like I just said, look what Buffalo just did to these guys. It's going to be a fun game, don't get me wrong. I like this matchup for the 49ers. They match up well against Kansas City. I'm taking the 49ers. So last two games, we got some doozies here. Sunday night, we got the Steelers, Dolphins. This one's interesting. Tua's back, right? Hopefully, dear God, keep this man upright. I don't want to see this dude injured no more. But yeah, sorry. I want to see what the fuck's going on with the Steelers. Who's their starting quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's their starting quarterback? Last week against Tampa. Oh, sorry. Because last week at Tampa, they both played. Am I wrong? Because why did they went away from Kenny Pickett? 11 for 18, 67, and a touchdown. I didn't hear on why. Like, I knew they went away from Kenny Pickett. I did not hear why. So, I actually don't know what's going on with Kenny Pickett. To me, it doesn't matter if Trubisky plays, who plays. Trubisky, 9 for 12, 144 yards, touchdown. To me, Trubisky wasn't doing that bad. You go back and watch the tape. Why Trubisky gets no, he has, the world's shortest leash. The dude fucks up once and he's out. He threw a pick in that last game. He was throwing picks that weren't his fault. I'm just going to call how I see it. It may be easy to dog on Trubisky, but he did not look that bad. Just saying. You guys can have the quick punchline. He's like Nickelback, dog. You just shit on him just for the sake of shitting on him. But anyways, to the game, Dolphins, Steelers. I don't know if it'll be close. I think the Dolphins should win this one easily with Tua back, but who knows anymore in this fucking league. Steelers are kind of all over the place. I don't expect them to win too many more games, to be honest. They got a great team. But they're talking about trading Chase Claypool. That's come up now. Claypool being a trade piece, possibly. So I don't know. The way these two teams been playing, it's totally a night and day difference. You get Tua back. The Dolphins look really good with Tua. Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and all that shit. So 3 losses in a row now. But I think the Dolphins will turn this thing around. They're going to win against the Steelers pretty handily, no matter who's at quarterback, whether it's Pickett or Trubisky. But I don't know the reason why they pulled him, but you got to fucking stick with one, dog. You can't do this back and forth shit. That shit ain't going to work. Monday Night Football, last but not least. This is a bona fide turd game. Call it what you want. The Bears just have not looked good at all. They run the ball great. Defense is the defense, but passing, they have not figured the passing game out yet, which I don't know how you're going to win any games that way. Mac Jones is questionable, so Mac Jones could be back this week, possibly. I like New England in this one. The Bears haven't played very well. They're at home in New England. The Patriots have actually looked good. They beat Cleveland. They put 38 points against Cleveland. They put up 29 against Detroit. I know it's those two teams respectively, but they took Green Bay to overtime. It's a lopsided matchup. The defense of New England's going to punish the Chicago Bears. It's going to be a lot of turnovers probably. I expect Fields to throw at least 2 picks against this defense. It's going to be a low-scoring defensive battle, but New England will probably – I think New England pulls away here towards the end. At the end of this thing, for sure. But with that being said, that's a rundown of all the games here, guys. That's our schedule for tomorrow. Go over it again real quick. I got Falcons over Bengals, Cowboys over Lions, Colts over Titans, Commanders over Packers, Bucks over Panthers, Giants over Jags, Ravens over the Browns, the Jets over the Broncos, Raiders over Texans, Chargers over Seahawks, 49ers over the Chiefs, Dolphins over the Steelers, and the Patriots over the Bears. So those are my picks. We'll see. We got to turn this picks around, man. Also, a lot of other shit going on. Good sports weekend. College football's getting ready to kick off as of recording this, about 40 minutes. Got some good college basketball. College basketball's starting. College football. Got some good college football. Let's see. Number 9, UCLA. Number 10, Oregon. That'll be a fun one. Syracuse and Clemson going at it. Both teams undefeated. Oklahoma State and Texas plays. Alabama coming off that loss to Tennessee with doozy of a game, plays Mississippi State. Just to name a few. So we got a fun weekend there. Phillies won game 3 of the NLCS. 4-2. Schwarber hit a fucking bomb. 405. Phillies, man, they're keeping this thing going. Are the Phillies going to fucking win this whole thing? That's scary, man. Out of nowhere, too, dog. And then you got the big UFC tonight. I mean, holy shit, we got a good fucking card. So, it's the Oliveira Makhachev main event. Gonna be fucking fun. Let me see what else we got. Oh, then you got Aljamain Sterling and TJ Dillashaw is the second match. Sean O'Malley and Petr Yan. That's gonna be a fun one. Those are just the top ones. I mean, you got Sean Brady's in action against Belal Muhammad. You got some good. This is a good one, dude. Gonna be a good one. And these are kicking. Oh, these are on right now. The prelims are on. Oh, so the prelims are on right now. So I'm about to get off and go watch these prelims, guys. I'm going to go watch some UFC. College. I'm going to have some college football on, UFC on. I'm going to be watching all. Go catch it all. Get a bunch of screens. Get all these sports. NBA's back. We haven't even talked about NBA. Next episode, we're going to be talking about some NBA. The Lakers being the Lakers. How how are they fitting in, with Russ, and they haven't looked good so far. Miami Heat last night against. We could talk about that one. Miami Heat last night. I did not get to see the game, so I can't speak too much on it. We'll save the NBA. We'll save NBA. We'll come back with NBA. I got some NBA for you. We're going to talk about the NBA, some early favorites, who we like, who we don't like. We kind of talked about it last time. And then we'll break down the UFC 280 event. You guys got to go check that out. It's going to be a good one. It's so top heavy, dude. Those top 3 fights are nasty. Even for casual fans, man. Just for casual fans. It's a good one. So go check it out. Good Sunday games. Monday, yeah. But we'll have it on, but it's Monday night. Not a good one. But with that, as always, man, love y'all. Have a good one. Peace.
Welcome to the Off-Though Podcast, everybody. Welcome to the After Podcast, everybody.